Hey you probably recognize the situation in which you were looking at a hotel room online, ultimately did not immediately buy that hotel room for that night that you were looking for, and then were retargeted for many, many days on all the devices that you are using, and then maybe ultimately actually ended up purchasing that booking, so to say. Well, this strategy in e-commerce is actually very, very successful. You might not believe it, but by creating all those touch points with you, and not just by doing that by retargeting you with exactly the same ad all the time, but actually by showing you what your life will look like if you buy this product, so to say. So creating positive associations and experiences leads to a lot of purchasing behavior in the long term. You probably wonder, what does this have to do with recruiting? What are we talking about today? Well, what we are doing in recruiting all the time is we are spraying our job ads all over the world, right? It's all over the web, everywhere. That's not a big problem in itself, but what the result of that is that we attract a lot of people to our website or our ads, right? So they review us, they look at us. So now they are in our audience, they know something about us, they have some association with us. But obviously, a lot of those people in that audience are not right at that moment ready to make the transaction, the purchase, to apply. So what you need to do is you need to learn from these e-commerce companies and understand that you also need to build more of those positive associations with your brand, your job, your customer, your employer, whatever it may be, in order to stimulate the behavior you actually do want to see. What that behavior can look like is either because of the ad strategy you have online, like retargeting the right people with the right interesting content for them that creates those positive associations, they are going to immediately react to those campaigns, right? Which means that they are going to end up in your ATS. Or because at the point where they are, oh, now I am in the mood to, make a transaction, you are the first they think of. And that's the power of building a big brand and a lot of positive associations with your audience. They are going to come to you, search for you on Google, for example, and going to make the transaction with you versus your competitors. Now, what does that result in? It results in a lot more people coming from your audience into your ATS, which in itself obviously has no value, but what the value is that you can derive from that is that you can now have one-on-one conversations with those interesting qualified people, and ultimately they're going to end up working alongside you as successful, happy employees, or working for your customers as successful, happy employees over there. So my question for you today is, where does your audience end up? Does it end up in this huge black hole that we have created as a recruitment industry? Or do they actually end up as your colleagues or working for your customers?